Let's do this, Mitch. 5-minute post-game show.
We're back. 5-minute post-game show. Canadians victorious 3-0 over the Detroit Red Wings. And Campbell, Nick Suzuki, with his best game of the season, picking up 3 points.
I thought he was great tonight. I thought he was so good from the get-go that just batting the puck in the air, it's a confidence booster for him. He needed that, and I love it. It's right after he called himself out, and he said that he was not good enough. He played his worst game. He came back to Montreal. He played outstanding tonight. I know you were up in the booth where you are right now. I'm just leaving the Bell Center because I was in the stands and I took the time to go watch this game. First time I've been at the Bell Center in the Reds in 10 years, Mitch. 10 years that I have sat in the Reds, and Nick Suzuki was outstanding.
Well, he was, and he was the guy that they needed him to be all season. And maybe this is something he could build on. I also, aside from Suzuki and getting that first goal, I love how the Canadians started the game. It was pretty much a minute and 55 seconds of the Red Wings hemmed into their zone and the same Red Wings line out on the ice, while the Canadians were able to make 2 changes. And then Suzuki's line was actually the third line up over the boards, and they found a way to get that opening goal. And it really set the tone, that first shift being in the offensive zone for those full 2 minutes. I just thought it was the perfect way to start.
No, you're right about that, Mitch. I was in the stands. I noticed that, and you could tell the crowd and the feel of the Bell Center was like, yes, keep going. And then they got the goal. And the moment the Canadians scored that first goal, and then let's go to the second goal, Josh Anderson coming off the wing. We've been watching it for 10 games, not happening. And then it finally happened for Josh Anderson. And you could sense that feeling of relief for someone who has actually been one of the few Canadians that have been playing well in the first 10 games.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, how many times do I have to tell you, he is better and more productive when he is coming down on the left side of the ice. Now, that doesn't mean he has to line up on left wing. I'm not saying that. But I love when in the neutral zone, he'll switch over and he'll go on the left and then be able to either take a shot with a lot of space and room cutting across. And that was a beautiful low blocker shot on Nedeljkovic of the Red Wings. But also when he needs to, he gets the feet moving and he can make that power move and shield off the defender with his right arm. But I talk about the feet moving. I thought that's what was key for Anderson in tonight's game. I thought he was moving his feet and skating hard, but also he wasn't the only one. The Canadians were all skating hard, and I know it was an emphasis on this one, back pressure and making sure that the defense weren't caught trying to defend people with speed. They had to worry about the oncoming forward on the back check.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great from the whole team, and they get the 2-0 lead, and then they went to this defensive shell, and I know the game maybe got a little bit boring, Mitch, but at the same time, that's exactly what they needed. They needed a boring game defensively so they can prove to themselves that they can play the system that Dominic Ducharme has put into place. And they haven't done that in a long time. And they finally were able to do that, getting the shutout for Josh Allen.
Well, Prussian Sesma's George Vanier.
Jake Sorry, quarterbacks of Buffalo Bills.
Well, no, it's not your fault. You had a Prussian stationnement, George Vanier. So you're on the Metro coming back from the game. Sean, we've made a lot about the crowd and people wanting the team to lose or to tank and draft first overall. You know how I feel about it. I've written about it at MontrealHockeyNow.com. But you were in the seats. Didn't it just feel like the crowd felt good about the team, especially in the third period? 10 minutes left. They were about to win. They score the empty netter. It's Gallagher, who we didn't even touch on. Gallagher was all over the place, I thought, tonight. But the fans want to see them win when they're in attendance. You were sitting with them.
Yeah, no, I was there, and I could tell the building was feeling good. And Mitch, I'll tell you this. I took the time because where I was sitting was about a section over from the Pizzetta family. And it was really neat. I saw these Pizzetta jerseys, and I was like, that's interesting. So I went over and asked them. I said, you guys are family, friends? And then he's like, I'm his brother. These are his friends. And we all made the trip out here. And then I went, and I actually talked to his parents as well. What a moment for Michael Pizzetta. Mitch, you and I were in Buffalo for his draft together. And you and I interviewed him when he was the 6th round draft pick.
So it's just so good. Those moments 5 years later after being drafted, make it into the NHL. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
I think that's well said, Sean, and a feel-good moment. There hasn't been a ton of them, but Pizzetta was definitely one. That's the 5-minute post-game on Post-Game Pints. Mitch Gallo, Sean Campbell, thank you, everybody who took the time to listen. Don't forget, click, listen, subscribe, comment. We appreciate the support. Sean, thank you, and remember, do. Have a fun trip home.